Hi everyone, welcome to Have You Got Your 2026 Client Communication Strategy in Place Yet? I'm Sacha, I work in marketing at Cloud9 and we're co-hosting this webinar with our partners Click. So on the agenda today, we're going to do a quick intro to Cloud9 and Click, then we'll hand over to Click to do the overview, and then we'll finish with a short poll and Q&As. So quick introduction to Cloud9. We're a specialist Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Power Platforms partner. It's our bread and butter of what we do, and we've been operating for over the past 15 years. We've implemented over 1,000 Dynamics projects across CRM, ERP, Power Platforms, and AI. We're an accredited Microsoft Business Application Solutions partner, which means that we work very closely with Microsoft to ensure that we're always on top of the latest innovations and the wave releases. We're an employee team of over 40 employees based in the heart of Brighton, and we're entirely UK based, which means that when you speak of Cloud9, you're dealing directly with the Cloud9 experts to ensure a strong communication throughout the delivery of your project. We have a unique client success care package, which is quite rare in our industry, which means that our clients get unlimited training so that the user adoption is maximized and that your team can make the most of the tool. We operate on a unique methodology of inspirational clarity. This means that we help you understand your KPIs and your business growth goals, so we can ensure that you leverage the tools to the utmost. So today we are co-hosting with our partners Click, and we have been working with them for over 10 years. Many of our clients rave about their solution, and we also use it ourselves and we love it. It's great for those who already have Microsoft Dynamics and who are looking to leverage their data to help with their business growth. So handing over to Click.
Thanks, Saoirse. Hi everyone, Owen is my own name. I'm a channel director here for Click, work closely with Cloud9. We have been working together for 10 years, it's amazing. Just before we get into today's topic, I wanted to take a moment just to say who we are, why we're relevant, and what makes us different and special. So Click as well have been in business for 15 years plus. We have some wonderful partners all around the world, just like Cloud9. We're trusted by 2,500 organizations. But I suppose one of our most unique selling points and why we're so successful is that we are 100% native to Microsoft Dynamics. So that means that we live inside the CRM. We aren't connected to it or integrated into it. We live and breathe it. You always have that single source of data, that single source of truth, which obviously means then you've no external apps or any syncing issues that happen further down the line. We are not just a software provider. We're a marketing partner committed to marketing success. If you speak to anyone who uses Click today, we are known for that. We're a marketing platform. We're tried and trusted by marketers, built by marketers, and we're very, very proud of that. So I just wanted to just go over that, a quick overview. But what I'll do next is I'll hand over to our AE here in Click, and she can that's Izzy O'Regan, and she can speak about the art of the possible.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Owen. So as mentioned, I'm going to take over for majority of today's session, and really what we want to do is give you a nice overview of Click. So show you the art of the possible, everything that we can do, and then we wanted to focus in on a few key areas that most customers would be using Click for and that we think add most value to our existing clients. So this slide is just a really nice overview to capture what we can do. So we are an end-to-end marketing platform. So it's everything from your outbound marketing use cases, so whether that is brand awareness content that you want to do, lead nurturing, things like product promotion, newsletters, we'd be able to support all of that through the email marketing functionality, automation. And then we also focus on the inbound. So if you are running things like events, webinars, if you want to track your website journey, kind of what leads are coming, what contacts, and then of course, kind of the forms and landing pages for that actual data capture. As Owen mentioned, we're running all of those activities, but we're running it inside the CRM. So kind of every interaction that's happening, every analytic, every statistic that we pull back, we look to really associate that to your lead and contacts. So we're kind of using the existing database that you've already built up over time that you already have in play, and then we're just really enhancing that through the marketing journey. So all of those features are kind of underlined by a nice dashboarding and analytics overview. And then, of course, that support and services alongside Cloud9 is key. So whether that's from initial onboarding to ongoing success programs that you may be interested in, that's kind of what we'd look to enhance alongside that. So kind of the key features that we want to focus in on. And the first one is email marketing. So I suppose, why is email marketing important today? Kind of what's the value of that? According to one of this recent statistics that we found here, email marketing campaigns have an average ROI of 36 times. So in kind of simple terms, what does that mean? Essentially, for every dollar that you're spending on email, the return on revenue of that is $36. So quite an impressive statistic, and shows kind of how relevant that is in today's world. And how Qlik enhances that is through the email functionality. So we would provide you kind of with everything from initial stages, so the capability to be able to build the email template. That's through a drag and drop designer. So it's really intuitive, kind of easy to use. You don't essentially need kind of HTML or any expert skills. We'd give a lot of kind of pre-built templates to help build those out. We then look at using CRM data. So because we're sitting on top of Dynamics, we would look to pull in the personalization element. So being able to pull in things like first name, maybe what type of product this lead is interested in. If it's an existing client, being able to kind of call out that product or service. We do the sending of the emails, so the actual execution of the email sends. In that process, we're looking at things like the spam score, making sure that you have the highest levels of deliverability. And then, of course, the analytics. So that is the key part from the email marketing side, is what do you want to do once those go out? Is it tracking things like your open rates, your click rates? If it is that lead focused email campaign, how can we kind of track what call to actions are working for those existing clients? So that is just a little bit overview of kind of how we support the email marketing component. The next feature is automation. I would say that campaign automation is probably one of our most powerful tools within Qlik, and it's the one that kind of adds most value to customers. So if we think about email marketing, what we kind of touched on there is very much that outbound communication. So like a one-time newsletter, a product promotion, they're kind of one-time email sends. But looking at automating that and aligning teams, there is huge value in doing so, and that would be through the likes of our automation builder. So from this statistics, B2B organizations with aligned sales and marketing teams achieved 24% faster 3-year revenue growth and 27% faster 3-year profit growth. How Qlik enables that is, of course, through the workflow builder. So this is what we refer to when we say campaign automation. Again, it is drag and drop, so it's quite intuitive to build, but it's essentially building out kind of those triggers and workflows that you may want to incorporate. If we take an example of something like a form, so you have an inquiry form on your website, that could be kind of a big lead generation source for you. What Qlik would look to enable is pulling all of that insight and all of that data from the form back into your CRM, but then using the automation builder to manage that follow-up. So what do we want to happen after that lead first engages with us? Do we want to assign somebody in our sales team straight away? If so, that's that kind of alignment. So we're able to notify sales team members. We would be able to create tasks for them. So if we wanted to kind of have a one-to-one follow-up task to maybe pick up the phone, to send them an Outlook email, we'd be able to action that. And then we can also kind of do different criteria paths. So maybe if it was an existing customer, we'd want them to maybe be routed to somebody else in the team. Maybe it's an upsell campaign. If it's that kind of true lead that's coming in, then we want them to go down a different path. So Qlik would really give you that functionality to kind of be able to send emails, create tasks in Dynamics, notify internal users. All of that will be possible through the automation builder itself. The next feature is event management. So quite timely considering we're doing this webinar today. But the event management piece, there's huge impact that has for existing customers. And that could be a huge lead generation source for them. It could be that kind of existing client communication, so staying in contacts with their customers. But what we've seen is that CRM users see a 94% increase in sales productivity when there is centralized event and lead data. Qlik looks to kind of enhance the whole event process by giving you the event management functionality directly within Dynamics. So to begin with, we'd connect with a lot of event platforms. So whether that's Cvent, Eventbrite, if it's more webinars, so the likes of Zoom, GoToWebinar, Teams webinars, we would connect with those platforms. So they would sync directly up to Qlik, and then we would create the event record in Qlik itself. So at any point in time, you'd have full access to that event record. Within that event, what we are looking at tracking is your registration and your attendance. So as we're kind of doing that pre-event communication, so we're sending out maybe 4-part emails to kind of get people to sign up. As soon as they register, we see that record against the event, and we can kind of clearly track what our registration is looking like for the event. The nice thing about that is it's going to go against the contacts or leads that you have in Dynamics. So one, it's tracking registrations for event specific, but two, it's actually pulling that back to your existing client or your existing contacts and leads, so you can see it against those records. So 6 months later, if you wanted to have an overview of how often is this client attending those events, we can track that. The second layer to it is the attendance. So seeing who exactly is spending in session time, and then what do we want to do with that kind of post the event. So do we want to have an automation that's maybe notifying sales team members to reach out to them on that one-to-one basis? Do we just want to say a thank you for attending the event? We can kind of decide what that follow-up looks like. But it's really centralizing it all back into Qlik, allowing marketing to do the pre and post event communications in a much more efficient manner. And then of course, having all of that singly stored within Dynamics. So pulling that back to your contacts and leads. And then the next feature is lead scoring. So lead scoring is hugely beneficial for our customers. We would recommend for everyone to be kind of doing some sort of lead scoring, whether that's true lead scoring on the prospecting side, or whether it's understanding kind of insights from existing clients and candidates. So you could actually start to score your contacts to see exactly who's engaged, who would maybe be a good kind of candidate for an upsell, for a cross-sell opportunity. And here we're seeing that companies that use lead scoring see a 77% increase in lead generation ROI. Within Qlik, how we kind of work with lead scoring and what we categorize that with is giving you the functionality to create a score model. So a score model could be anything from email interactions. So we really want to track if someone opens an email, that's a positive sign. We want to give them a score of 5. Whereas if someone's to actually click on a link and then they're to go visit the website, that's a much more fruitful activity. So we want to make sure that they get a score of 10. Some of the other actions could be things like form submission. So if somebody hits that submission on the website, they automatically get a score of 20, because again, that's kind of that really positive sign. If we want to start looking at sales data, if an opportunity is created, great, that's a fantastic sign. Again, let's set that lead score straight up to a 20. But once the scoring model is set, so once you define what makes sense for your organization, that is really just going to start tracking all of those leads as they engage with marketing. So as they're taking those different actions, the score is increasing or decreasing. At any point, sales teams could come in and they could look at that lead and see, okay, what score are they on at the moment? How do they get to that point? Kind of what's the call to action next? Or we could look at automating that process. So through the campaign automation builder, again, you can see here in this screenshot, we would have a score reach trigger, which allows you to fully automate that. So as soon as they hit that score of 30, then we choose to get that lead kind of in front of a sales team member, notify them, let them know they kind of need to do an immediate follow-up with those. So again, improving that marketing and sales alignment, all that hard work that marketing is doing is being tracked, it's being stored within Click, it's feeding back to the CRM, and then we're bringing our sales team in at the relevant point. So making sure that we're kind of picking up those hot leads in real time. That is everything kind of from a feature perspective that we really wanted to focus in on for today. As we said, there is a lot more that Click can do. So kind of at the start of the call, we saw the SMS component, social marketing will be a big part, landing pages. So there is a lot more functionality, but we think those kind of 4 features there are quite key to Click, and they were kind of the main areas that we wanted to highlight. The final slide is just a few more statistics. So kind of obviously the ones that we've gone through previous have just kind of been general industry insights, but these are actually some real investments that we've seen with customers that have invested in Click and the returns they've gotten in 1 year. So within the first year, clients report that there is 10+ hours saved monthly from day 1 due to the elimination of manual tasks. So for some customers, that might be importing and exporting from Dynamics into a third-party platform, kind of moving the data from one system to the other. For other clients, it could be the unsubscribe process. So making sure that they're fully GDPR compliant and honoring subscription preferences, the time that it takes to kind of monitor those, make sure that we're honoring that. Click would look to remove a lot of that manual work as it's all happening within the CRM. 10% revenue uplift within the first 6 to 9 months, mainly due to better lead management and automation. So kind of the example that we went through earlier, having that form on the website, capturing the data, pulling them into CRM, and then having a real-time follow-up. So whether that's the sales team, emails, whatever it may be. And then 76% of companies achieve positive ROI within 12 months with average uplifts of 200 to 500% in leads. That's obviously quite a powerful statistic, and that's kind of over a number of areas. So whether that's the website tracking that you're now able to do, the form management, landing pages, social, all of that would be covered. So that is kind of all of the content that we really wanted to cover for today. I've just seen that a poll has popped in. So as mentioned, there's kind of a lot of other features around Click. So we'd love to maybe get feedback on whether people would like to see a bit more, kind of something a little bit more specific to your organization. So I'll just give it 1 minute to allow some submissions on the poll there. Perfect. I think we're probably good on that. And now Q&A. So Owen or Saoirse, I might just see if any questions have come in, anything that we kind of want to get covered with the remaining time.
Cool. I've got a question here. How advanced is the workflow builder, and can we create conditional logic, branching, and triggers easily?
You can do. So with the workflow builder, it is using the insights that are already in Dynamics also. So kind of some of the examples that I've mentioned is like form follow-up. So that'd be very marketing specific. So it would be if they fill in the form, we want them to go down path 1 or path 2. But using the CRM data, we can start to make that a bit more conditional logic. So if they are a lead and they're based in a certain area, then they go down path 1. If they're an existing client and they're based in another geographic area, then we want them to go down path 2. So we can do branching out kind of based on that conditional logic. And the nice part is it's what you would have in your dynamic. So whatever data is kind of being stored on those contacts or leads records within CRM can be pulled into the automation builder.
Nice, thank you.
Great.
Just one as well here does Click support omni-channel campaigns?
It does. So Click is kind of the inbound side, so mainly around the email marketing, outbound, so email marketing, your SMS. So we do work with some key SMS connectors. So they would be the likes of Twilio, Bulk SMS, and MessageNet. So we would connect directly with them. They would do the sending of the SMS, but then you can pull that back into Click. So whether that was going to be a step in an automation, whether you wanted to kind of do that bulk outreach because SMS might work better than email. So that would be another channel. The third one would be social. So I've kind of touched on social, but within Click, we would give you access to a full social marketing platform that will really allow you to kind of align the scheduling and publishing. So you can connect up all of the social profiles that you're working with. Typically, we see most customers predominantly being LinkedIn, but we also do support Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube. So you can connect those profiles directly up to the platform. Do your scheduling, do your publishing of the campaigns across the week ahead, the month ahead. But the key part is we look to then track what the engagement is like on those call to actions in social. So if you had a link to maybe go visit your website to read a blog, or if it was to go to a thought leadership kind of piece of content that you've done, every time someone is now clicking on that link in social, Click would look to identify them and pull that data back into CRM. So directly from Dynamics, we could also kind of track, okay, who's engaging with us on the social as well as email, as well as our website.
Brilliant.
The final channel would probably just be the paid ads component. So what we'd look to kind of manage from that perspective is allow you to continue to run your paid ads within that third-party platform, but then connect the tracking up through Click. So through the likes of hidden fields, we can then show you exactly who's coming from Google Ad Campaign 1, maybe directly to the website. We'd also kind of look to integrate around that through the UTM tracking.
Great. Just one that came in here as well, and I can kind of just maybe answer it first, Izzy, and then you can maybe touch on something more. But it's, are we going to see AI coming into Click, i.e. to schedule activity, etc.? So I suppose just to kind of start, like we do currently have a few things happening inside Click on a daily basis with AI. We have AI in our email builder from a content creation point of view. We also have AI in our social tool. So we have it, again, to create content and to schedule content for automatically, so it'll queue it going forward. But we have been working on agents as well. We have our website agent live today if you went on to clickdimensions.com. So we have multiple agents. We have a support agent, an MDR agent, and a few more. But we have, Izzy, I might just pass it over to you as well. Just we have a new kind of layer coming to Click, and it is called Sweet Spot.
Yeah, so from a Click perspective, as Owen mentioned, we're kind of looking at the agent route, so the ability to build agents. That's kind of where we are at the moment. I suppose with our AI store, we've been very conscious in what we are developing. We want to make sure that it makes sense for marketers. So kind of every change that we're making around that, it's really with our existing customers in mind, listening to feedback, what would really help them. So that's kind of the approach we've taken so far, is the content generation, the social content, the agents. And then where we're looking at going to and kind of what's in our near roadmap is the likes of our dashboarding. So currently we'd have a really nice kind of comprehensive dashboarding solution, but we're looking at including an AI assist here to allow you in natural language to essentially prompt it to help you kind of make the best informed decisions. So when was my best performing campaign in 2025? Kind of really getting into the analytics that's already there, but kind of enabling you to prompt it a lot easier and kind of uncover what trends you need to see. So that's kind of the next approach that we're really taking around the AI story, is we're kind of looking at introducing that, and that's on our roadmap. So that's confirmed coming in near time. Everything else I think you've captured quite well there, Owen.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thanks, Izzy. Final question here really I can see is what the pricing model is for Click.
Yeah, so we are unlimited users, unlimited contacts. We are solely based on email volumes. So that's kind of what we look to track from a commercial aspect. We do have different packages, so kind of based on feature allocation, we'd kind of understand what makes most sense, kind of based on your organization, based on where you are today. But email volumes is really kind of the main commercial aspects. That's kind of how we're monitoring the usage and what the commercials look like. We'd be more than happy to kind of follow up with that on a one-by-one basis, so we can kind of take that and follow up with that directly.
Great.
Brilliant. I think that's all the questions we have for today. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to edward@cloud9insight.com if you have any questions, or we can book a demo.
Thanks so much, everyone. Really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thanks all. Bye.
Bye now.